Let's talk about something that can be absolutely terrifying: being afraid of your own mind. We're diving deep into that specific fear, the one where you worry that a single stray negative thought could suddenly become your reality.
Does this hit close to home? That sinking feeling? That sudden jolt of panic when a random, unwanted thought just flashes through your mind and you think, oh no, did I just create that? Did I just mess everything up?
And let's be real, that feeling is completely paralyzing. It feels like you're fighting a war inside your own head, constantly on guard. It's exhausting. But I want you to know you are so not alone in feeling this way. And what if I told you that this whole fear is based on a massive misunderstanding of how your mind and reality actually work? Let's break that down.
Okay, here is the first and honestly the most important thing you need to get. A passing thought has exactly zero power over you, unless you give it power.
Think about that for a second. The key word here is agree. A thought is just a thought. It's a bit of mental noise, a random suggestion popping up. It's not a command, it's not a prophecy, it's just data.
So let's use a really cool analogy: the vampire. Imagine a negative thought is a vampire knocking on your front door. It can look scary, it can be loud, it can bang on the door all night long. But according to all the old legends, it is completely powerless. It cannot come in unless you say, "Come on in." Your thoughts are exactly the same. They can knock, but you're the one who opens the door by freaking out, by focusing on them, and by deciding they must be true.
So, what does this look like day to day? Well, let's take Sarah. She's prepping for a huge interview, and bam, the thought hits: I'm going to fail. The old Sarah would have panicked, right? She would have flung the door open for that vampire. But this time, she just recognizes it as a knock, a meaningless knock. She ignores it and goes right back to reviewing her qualifications. She knows she is not that thought. Or how about Tom? He's in a really happy relationship, and then an old fear pops up: he's going to leave me. Instead of reacting and spiraling, which is opening the door, he just sees it for what it is, an old insecurity. He chooses to focus on how loved he feels right now. And just like that, the thought gets no energy. It just fades away.
Okay, so if these thoughts have no power, why on earth do they feel so loud and so persistent, especially when you're trying to improve your life? Well, there's a really good reason for that. Your brain is actually doing its job. You see, part of your mind, you can call it the ego, has one primary job: to keep you safe. And how does it define safe? By keeping you in familiar territory. The problem is, familiar doesn't always mean good. It can mean familiar misery, familiar anxiety, familiar lack. To your ego, that's still safer than the unknown. Let's use another analogy. Picture your mind has a security guard who has been working the same shift for 20 years. He knows the old you. He knows all your old patterns, your old beliefs. The moment you decide, I'm a new person now, it's like a stranger just walked into his building. He doesn't recognize you. So what does he do? He sounds the alarm. And those alarms are your doubts, your fears, those intrusive thoughts. He's just trying to get the stranger, the new you out, and pull the familiar old you back in. Let's look at Maria. She decides, you know what, I am a confident person. And what happens? Immediately, her mind is flooded with every single memory of her being shy and awkward. That's the security guard yelling, hey, you're not confident. Remember this? She just has to recognize the alarm for what it is and keep persisting. Or take David. He starts affirming that he is wealthy and abundant. All of a sudden, he feels this overwhelming anxiety about his bills. He gets it now. That's not a sign of failure, it's just his old lack identity fighting back, triggered by his new wealthy state. So you see, the goal isn't to fight your thoughts or to shut down that security alarm. The real secret is to realize that you are not the alarm. You're not even the building. You are something so much bigger. This simple idea right here can change everything. Think of your true self, your awareness, as the big, beautiful, endless sky. It's always there. It's constant. It's unchanging. Now, what are your thoughts, feelings, doubts, and fears? They're just the weather. A storm can roll in. It can be loud and scary, but it's always temporary. It always passes, and it never, ever damages the sky. You are the sky. You are not the storm passing through. So, from now on,
Your job is to simply take your place as the observer. You are the consciousness that is aware of the thought. You are not the thought itself. And from that position, from that sky-like awareness, you hold all the power.
Okay, so understanding all of this is fantastic, but how do you actually use it when a negative thought hits you? Let's get practical. Let's build your new instruction manual for your mind.
It's a really simple three-step process. Deny, choose, be. So first, deny. When the thought comes up, you simply deny its power. You say, nope, that thought is not me and it's not true. Second, choose. You consciously and deliberately choose the reality you prefer. You state your new truth. Actually, it's this way. I am successful. And third, be. You just drop back into that feeling, that inner knowing that your new reality is already a fact, even if it's just for a second.
And you've got more tools in your toolbox too. If the thoughts are really persistent, just change the subject. Put your attention on something else entirely. You starve the thought of the attention it needs to survive. You can also just be indifferent. Give it a mental shrug. Treat it like a boring, meaningless echo from the past. Or, hey, if you get caught up in a negative spiral for a minute, it happens. You can instantly revise it. Just say, you know what? That whole train of thought was meaningless and it has absolutely no effect on me. You always get the last word.
And now we get to my favorite part, the ultimate reframe. What if the very thing you're afraid of, that mental resistance, those negative thoughts, is actually the best news you could possibly get?
Seriously, think about this. If you hadn't already changed on the inside, your old thoughts would just be, well, your normal thoughts. They wouldn't feel like resistance. The very fact that they feel loud and wrong and like they're fighting you is proof that you are no longer aligned with them. You've already made the shift.
I love this because it makes it so clear. Before you decided to change, the noise from that old identity was just a low hum in the background. But the moment you stepped into your new identity internally, you triggered the old alarm system. That huge spike in resistance isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you've been successful. It's the old security guard screaming because he knows there's a new boss in the building. So from this moment on, I want you to completely reframe this. That doubt, that fear, that intrusive thought, it's not a monster coming to get you. It's a confirmation letter. It is proof that you have already won. They are just the echoes of an old self that no longer exists. So the question isn't, how do I stop these thoughts? The real question is, can I start recognizing this resistance for what it really is? The very first sign of my victory?